Hello and welcome to Talk FCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys. It is Champions League time and game week 3 here in Group B, and it is all about to go down between Barcelona and Inter. Live from the Camp Nou, we are without our talisman, Lionel Messi. How are we going to get on? We are going to find out. Today's video is coming to you courtesy of the OneFootball app, which you can find in the description down below if you do wish to download it. And as I always said with OneFootball, it is a very, very reliable app, good for all of the news, and especially with this week's Champions League action, you can keep right up to date. Everything is on the app for you right there. Kickoff will be coming to us at 8:45 local time, live from the Camp Nou, as I say, and as the tough fixtures really do continue. But luckily for us, they're all coming at home. We've got to make it a fortress. Sevilla on Saturday, we got through that game. Inter now on Wednesday, and don't forget Sunday, El Clasico is coming. Real Madrid will be our opponents, and we've got to get through all of these games, and now without Messi too. And as always, guys, here are your predictions, and I have to say, your predictions in recent weeks have been very, very good indeed. Last week against Sevilla, the majority of you went for a win by 2 goals. The match ended 4-2. You were absolutely right, and today it is the same sort of result. A lot of you fancy a win by 2 goals against Inter, and I think we'd all around the table here, we would take that result. Speaking of the table, here is the Group B table as it stands right now. Barcelona and Inter joint top of the group, both teams with maximum points, with PSV and Tottenham both on 0 points, and they're going to face a really, really interesting clash. It's going to be the earlier kickoff on the Wednesday, and it's going to be fascinating to see what happens there, PSV against Tottenham, but it's all about Inter. Right now, there are massive contenders in this group. We have got to get through these games, and you've got to remember, over the next few weeks, we're going to face Inter at home now, and then Inter at San Siro, and it's extremely likely right now that we're going to face both of those games without Messi. So it's really, really important that we go into this game, get the win at home, which massively will take the pressure off our trip to San Siro. If we win here, the San Siro visit will be a lot easier and a lot less pressure on us. So we've got to get our job done with our fans behind us. Let's do this. But first of all, guys, we will discuss our opponents, Inter Milan. They are currently lying 3rd in Serie A right now, 6 points behind the leaders Juventus and 2 points behind Napoli in 2nd place. They currently have the 2nd best defence in the league, having only conceded 6 times in 9 matches, which is actually really impressive when you consider that we in La Liga have conceded nearly double that amount. We've conceded 11 goals, Inter only the 6 so far, so they do have a very strong back four, and interestingly enough, when it comes to them facing us at the Camp Nou on Wednesday, Inter do possess a really, really good away record in Serie A. They currently have the 2nd best away record in Italy, 2nd only to Juventus, so they certainly know how to get a result away from home, how to set up. Spalletti is very, very good at doing that, and we're going to have to watch out for that kind of strategy. And it's not only Inter's good form away from home which will give them confidence coming into this one, it's their overall play this season. They have been very, very good, and particularly in the Champions League, maximum points so far, 6 out of 6, 2 wins, and a really impressive win in there over Tottenham. That was a dramatic comeback at San Siro, and not only that, but they're also coming off a Milan derby win, and that is the biggest thing that you can say when you play in Milan. It's a massive game, 2 heavyweights going head to head, and they got one over on their arch rivals at the weekend. On Sunday night, they won by a 1-0, and it wasn't just a win, it was a last gasp win. A goal in the dying moments. Of course it was that man, Mauro Icardi, that got it, and it was a massive, massive win on the blue and black side of Milan. But it is that man who scored the winning goal, Mauro Icardi, that we simply have to talk about. When you're talking about Inter, you've got to take into account the massive, massive responsibility that this man has on his shoulders. A man, of course, who came through the Barcelona academy earlier on in his career and has since then really made his name in the Italian top flight, establishing himself as one of the best strikers in the world. No doubt about that at all. He's got 4 goals so far in Serie A this season, 2 in the Champions League, but his overall record at Inter is really incredible. As a forward, since signing for them back in 2013, Icardi has 113 goals in 191 appearances. That is what you call a clinical centre forward. And like I say, when you are discussing Inter, it's him that you've got to worry about, because even though Inter possess a lot of quality right throughout their team, they've got a good goalkeeper, they've got good defenders, good in midfield as well, he is the final piece of that jigsaw. All of those roads, all of those balls lead to Icardi. He's the man they look to pick out. He's the man they're looking for to really lead read their line and get them these results. That is the kind of guy that Mauro Icardi is. And our defence in particular have got to pay special attention to him, because I think he's quite an interesting forward. He's somebody, to be honest, that isn't always involved. He won't drop deep, he won't get involved in the build-up, he'll have very few touches throughout the game, and he won't always be involved. Sometimes you'll even wonder if he's out on the pitch, but that's the trap. That's what our defence cannot afford to do. Do not switch off. Do not lose your concentration, because Icardi is there. Icardi is there, and he is waiting for one opportunity, one chance, and he will hurt you, just like AC Milan found out on Sunday. Do not fall into that trap. Do not be lured into that kind of situation. Make sure you're focused. Make sure you're keeping an eye on him at all times, and follow his runs. Follow his runs. Don't let him in behind you, and stop Icardi at all costs. And if we just take a look here at the squad that Inter have chosen ahead of tomorrow's game, you can see they do possess some very good players indeed, right throughout their team, from goalkeeper to defence. Very household names, a lot of quality. Ivan Perisic out wide, he's going to get a lot of balls in the box to Icardi. We've got to be wary of that. You've got De Vrij at the back for Schalke, of course. We know him from Atletico Madrid and Croatia. Skriniar is a very good defender. Keita Balde, of course, another ex-Barcelona player with a point to prove. And Lautaro Martinez is certainly a very promising young forward there. One man not in the squad though for Inter is Raja Nainggolan, and I am particularly pleased about this for two particular reasons. Number one, it's very good that he's not playing, because he is a good player. He's often the link for Inter between midfield and attack, and the fact that he's not playing is a significant blow after he got injured against Milan at the weekend. And number two reason, I'm glad he's not playing, because he's likely to injure someone if he does play. He hurt Rafinha all those years ago. He's done it a lot of times in his career, and right now we're down to our bare bones. We don't want any more injuries. And now it is time to move on to the squad of our own. What is Valverde going to do to try to overcome the big loss that is Lionel Messi? And if you're watching this video standing up, guys, or if you're out maybe in public, I suggest what you should do right now is sit yourself down, because the news that I am going to deliver is going to be crushing. I can tell you the squad, and I can tell you that Malcolm, the guy that we signed in the summer, Brazilian guy, 41 million euros, Malcolm is in the squad. Valverde has realised that we've got a new signing, and he is in the squad for tomorrow's game. Maybe he'll get some minutes, maybe he won't, but he is there. Ter Stegen, Semedo, Piqué, Rakitic, Busquets, Coutinho, Arthur, Suarez, Dembele, Rafinha, Sillerson, Malcolm, Longley, Alba, Munir, Sergio Roberto, Arturo Vidal, and Chumi once again makes up the centre-back position. Exciting times. Let's move on to the lineup. But I want to put a slight dampener on that excitement, because I personally do not think that Malcolm is going to start this game. I think that obviously he's not really game ready. He's been frozen out for a lot of the season. But what I do think we must see is Malcolm coming off the bench. That could be such an effective game sub, bringing it on, changing the dynamics of the game depending on how it's going. And I really do hope we see him come off the bench. I would go with Ter Stegen, Alba, Longley, Piqué, Semedo. Semedo with a lot of games and consistent game times seems to be getting better and better. So I'd leave him in there for a massive Champions League game. Busquets here holding, Arthur and Rakitic. That midfield trio has been doing well recently. We know that Rakitic is pretty much a guaranteed starter. Otherwise, I might suggest using Arturo Vidal in this kind of game, especially as well, considering the aggression of Inter Milan. He could work really well there, but I think probably Valverde will favour Rakitic. Then Coutinho from the left, Suarez down the middle, and Ousmane Dembele on the right-hand side. Malcolm on the bench will give Dembele a bit of motivation. He knows that if he's not good enough, Malcolm can come in his place, and that should push him on and strive him to be better, because without Messi, we need these three to deliver. We need Coutinho to really step up. We need Suarez to be clinical in front of goal, and we need Dembele not only to create, but also to get in goal-scoring situations. It's a massive game at the Camp Nou. It's going to be a real test of what we're made of, and I can only hope that we can overcome this. And so, without further ado, my prediction for this game is Barcelona 2, Inter 0. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win. I'm also going to go with a clean sheet, because I personally think if we can shut down Icardi, this Inter team doesn't have a great deal of goals in it. It's all about Icardi. He's going to be the man with the finishing touch. If we can shut him down, we've got a great chance. Suarez could score. Coutinho's been in really good form in front of goal, and I would love if Dembele got himself a goal and got himself some confidence to go with that. So I'm going to go 2-0. Leave your thoughts and your predictions in the comments down below, guys. What do you think the score will be, and who do you think will start? Good news as well is I will have two videos videos coming up for you tomorrow. Of course, the match review once the game is over, but before that, earlier on in the day, I will have a video discussing in more detail what we can do without Messi, how we can play without him, and with some video analysis of the last times Messi has not been in the team for Barca and how we've navigated our way around some tricky games. So I'll see you tomorrow, guys, with 2 uploads. Until then, though, as always, Visca El Barça!